From Games Workshop's basement, hosted by John Quennell, Danny McDevitt, and featuring tech priest Dickie, it's Grim After Dark. And now, it's time for Grim After Dark.
Welcome along, Grim After Dark. Brand new season, brand new set. I don't know if it's the season. It's still the same tired, jaded assholes that you've come to tolerate as background noise out of pity and shame. We have a lot to cover tonight in the world of Warhammer 40k. So let's welcome our co-host. First of all, he is one, a man. Two, in Alaska. Three, a Warhammer 40,000 enthusiast.
Ooh.
Enthusiast? Is that the word you were looking for?
No, you're not quite. You're not quite that excited. We're taking the ISIS out of enthusiasts.
I love that.
It's just enthusiast now.
Oof.
And you know him, you love him. He helped us steal this desk from the grave of signals from the front line. Tech priest Dickie.
Well, you know what they say, John. I brought it into this goddamn world, and I'll take it out. Well, on this shit.
I did a quick Google search for light wood desk, no background, and I will use it.
That's right. No, please, no, none of that. Please copyright things that you had to erase. But yeah, we're good.
Yeah, no, but I enjoyed the desk so much last week.
Yeah,
that I was just like, you know what? Let's bring it back. Let's bring everyone down to my level, or raise me up to Danny's level.
Yep.
Either way, I will say perspective is strange because your head is still far larger than mine. Don't let the screen fool you.
It's pretty on point right now.
John, we use a lot of forced perspective in this show.
That's why Dickie's so large.
I found that this is a very useful tool in my everyday life. Forced perspective.
Yeah. I'm a modern man, so I prefer consent perspective. And yes, chat. Sir Valskull is back. He's holding up the sign.
Hold it all together up there.
Yeah. We remembered we had a Val asset to use. But comment of the week brought to you by our friends at Frontline Gaming. Not the sold out Challengers Cup, but the upcoming Champions Cup at TBD sometime next year. This was a comment from last week, Danny. This one tickled my fancy. We had a lot of positivity about what we did last week. It was a surprisingly comment every week.
Really?
This guy says Danny is aggressively neutral about cosplay.
Neutral?
Aggressively neutral about cosplay.
Neutral.
Now, I don't know if, like me, as soon as the show finishes, you forget everything that happened. Because I don't remember what this is in reference to.
I talked about how much I didn't understand cosplay, and I just don't get it. So it's not my thing, but I won't yuck on anyone's yum.
I don't think that seems neutral. Well, I mean,
unless they're furries, and then I will.
That's true. Speaking about yucking on people's yum, which please never put that phrase in my brain again, because that's a very sexual segue to use in a weekly YouTube show. This week, there was another small leak from Games Workshop. We have a new wagon released.
Wow.
Yeah, this beautiful new model symbolizing what the woke mob has done to Games Workshop, combining two different factions together of Stilts Sniper and Fuego and the Fire Dragon. Danny, thoughts on this beautiful new model?
I think it's a beautiful model, John. I think that this is reprehensible and really kind of, look, Eldar players have been suffering with the old Fuego model for, God, who knows how long? Like probably since the mid-90s.
They have not been suffering about anything.
So we're talking 30 years of Fuego. Dude just got a new cut, and I really like his new drip.
Yeah, let's go down to it because we talked about it a little during the week, Danny, when it came out. Brand new Fuego, and we were kind of like the way we sort of feel each other out. Like, what do you think of it? What do I think of it? And I said I was a little disappointed that it was essentially a slightly kind of upscale, but they kept the pose and sort of the feel of the same model. or the old model,
Yeah.
but that's sort of what you liked about it.
I mean, I think it's a great homage to what is ostensibly an amazing model.
Yeah. Yeah, it's all right.
And I think if you go down one more, Dickie, you got a butt shot going on here.
Ooh.
Look at that.
Ooh.
Eldari booty. Do you think this is also going to
Firm.
lead to
Eternal.
Wraith Boney?
Dude, it's giving me a little Wraithbone right now.
Oh boy.
Gonna have to use the balance data slate on you.
Look at how cool his axe is. Like
It's really
he's
cool.
such a nice model. The detail is great. You know what I also like is that
Yeah.
he's got fire dragon symbols all over him, which I love.
I personally love the flaming chaos marine skull on the bottom. I think
that's
that it's either dead orc thing, or dead space marine, ultramarine specifically thing, or dead chaos marine thing.
Yeah.
I like it.
Do you think they have a corpse department where they have like a bunch of like whenever modeler gets stressed, they just go into Blender and model a bunch of dead models?
If they do, can I buy it, please? Because I would totally buy a whole bunch of dead things.
We just watch out now, chat. Please don't send him like squirrels.
No, don't send me squirrels. Send me
possums.
dead space marine model kind of thing. Yeah.
But you have to imagine there's a Blender file somewhere, GWHQ, which is just like Chris's stress folder, and it's just like skinned marines.
Yeah. Oh, it's just the half torso marine again. Yeah.
Yeah. Why is there so many dead Eldari models? Like I was really stressed around 6th edition. I designed a lot of this game.
Yeah.
But yeah, it looks super cool. Hopefully this means fire dragons are coming soon. And then Volta, we're going to see some warp spiders, because at this point, I think those are the only, because even the Finecast fire dragons were passable. But the warp spiders have been kind of a joke for at least as long as some of our viewers have been alive.
Right.
They've been around a while. Yeah.
Yeah. New warp spiders coming next year, you think?
I hope so. I hope I hope we get warp spiders. I hope we get swooping hawks. Those would both be great choices of things for them to make. I can't wait to see plastic swooping hawks. That might be the coolest unit ever.
Well, they'll certainly perch on some rocks. As someone who this week has spent a lot of time building sanguinary guard and jump pack marines, there's a lot of terrain that's just slightly being touched all over battlefields. So hopeful that your swooping hawks can come along and play with those too.
Toe in, if you will, John.
Toe in. Oh man, now I know what the Death Company jump pack sergeant's called.
Sir Captain, like
Tobias.
No, toe in.
Captain Toe. What?
Toe in.
Toe master.
Toe in. Jason Toe in. The master of all things Toe in. We do have a totally accurate Warhammer lore coming up. Slightly different format this week on it, where I asked our Discord to provide us with a bunch of random pictures. And then you guys are going to explain to me how those pictures relate to the chosen topic this week. So I'm pretty excited for that, because they were, well, you know our Discord. They were disparate and they were disturbing for a couple of them.
Yeah.
But before we do that, we got to have a little bit of like build up. Got to get some deep dicking. Quarter four. Yeah, welcome to Deep Dickin', the part of the show where we actually talk about 40K and how to be better at it.
Yeah.
Wild concept.
Wild indeed, gentlemen. Wild indeed. Well,
Goes on really long.
Okay, so have you guys read? Is this the only way you guys get your 40K information through Deep Dickin'?
Yeah. It really annoys my opponents, because we're now like 3 weeks after the Balanced Data Slate launched.
Well, I mean, it's like the last event was really last weekend, right? So it's only been like really 1 week. So yeah, but you know what? Don't make your friends and family, whoever plays you in 40K, I guess not your family, mad. We're gonna go through some new rules, some updated rules, and I thought the first thing we would talk about would be the mission and the secondary changes. Not a lot to go over here. Some pretty easy stuff. As you guys know, secret missions were relatively easy to score. So GW kind of said, you know what, we're gonna hit that with a little bit of a hammer there. So currently, if you pick a secret mission, so this is before the changes, you pick a secret mission, you can have your primary go up to 20, and basically you can score primary at the end of turn 5, and everything's hunky dory. So armies like 1,000 Suns, like Necrons, were really able to kind of hit those secret missions and score on them really well.
Why was that, Dickie?
Was because
tell us
generally
about
their warlord could jump. So one of the secret missions was have your warlord take the other of the opponent's home mission, and then or home objective, sit on it, and you get 20 points just for having Magnus jump on an objective at the end. And Magnus is really quick; he can move 14 to 16 inches twice, maybe 3 times. So if he's able to get there, he's able to get there, and he's OC a billion as well. So I'm just gonna go.
That seems
What's his
unbalanced,
actual
Dickie.
OC, Dickie? Is it like 5?
It's like 5 or something. Yeah. Give me 1 second, because
Basically a billion.
I was gonna say, like, OC 1 billion seems quite unfair for other units in the game, unless he was like pointed appropriately. But Danny, what would you point someone who was OC 1 billion?
John, I probably wouldn't give them points. I probably point them at 1 billion points.
Oh, that's fair. It's fair. Sorry,
I cut it off. See. Okay, keep doing stupid things and making funny sounds with your mouth hole.
yeah. So Danny, let's talk about tactical aspects of Warhammer 40K.
The tactical aspects of it.
No, I was saying before to you, Danny, before we started recording, I started building my Blood Angels. I have Blood Angels dice now. Jump Pack Marines.
Dice?
Yeah, I bought the Blood Angels dice. Yeah, nice. I thought I might need them to play a game. Every time I've reached out in a forum and be like, "Do I need dice to play Warhammer, or can I just use my opponents?" Which, by the way, what a great strategy for a tournament. You talk about dick moves. Can you imagine going to a tournament with no dice and just be like, "Oh, I can just use yours," and your opponent obviously is going to hate that because it's a weird thing in the community. But then you can be like, "Well, why don't you want other people using your dice? Are they loaded? Are they kind of baked in some way to win?" And then he'll have to let you use his dice, and that'll ruin his day.
Ooh. I do feel that way. I personally hate when people use my dice.
Yeah.
Why?
I actually have asked people, please don't use my dice, like while we were playing in the middle of it, just like, hey, don't use my dice, like very direct.
Yeah. Is that worth the yellow card for sportsmanship?
John, it's never gotten me a yellow card for sportsmanship.
Is it because of the forced perspective?
No, John, I feel like this is America and I don't have to share anything with anyone.
Oh, is this going out live here? Oh,
Yeah,
sorry.
Great.
This is exactly going out live.
Settings.
Production value is amazing tonight.
Be great. All of that to add the number 5.
Yeah, but if it's not on the teleprompter, I don't know what's happening. So, okay, so what the hell was I talking about? Oh, secret missions, right? So currently, secret missions are exactly how I said. You basically get 20 points. You can score up to 20, and your secret mission is 20. You can score in round 5. Well, they've changed it just slightly. Basically, they said if you take a secret mission, you can't score primary victory points on round 5 if you take that secret mission. Thus reducing the amount of time that you have to score your 20 victory.
So does that give you like 2, because you draw on 3 for that, right?
Yeah.
That only gives you 2 turns to score.
Really, it only gives you about 2 turns to score your primary. So thus potentially reducing the amount of victory points you're going to get.
Oh.
Do you think this is gonna affect the general 40K game, guys? Do you think it's gonna change everyone's kind of secondary picks or
I think the linchpin change is good.
yeah, we haven't really reviewed that yet. Yeah, but yes, for sure. Yeah,
I actually also hate Storm Hostile Objective is like okay, but I agree in the first turn that it shouldn't be scoreable.
yeah. So let's go through that for our podcast listeners because we love them so much. So they did a change to linchpin. Now it just caps you at 15 capped per turn. It used to be just an unlimited amount, so you could, in general, if you go second, I saw people score like over 20 points in the final turn. So this is I think a good change for linchpin, and like Danny alluded to, the secondary Storm Hostile Objective was not able. You weren't able to score it. I think you just put it back in your deck, or you discarded it if you pulled it. Now you can. And actually, the way it reads is you could score it, and I think you actually could redraw as well. So you do have the opportunity to score, and you also so it's a really good. It's not a bad card to get, especially if you're.
So you have the option to do both. They still maintain the thing.
Yeah. So you still have the opportunity to put it back in your deck.
That's cool.
If you don't want it. So yeah. Marked for death, there was a subtle change, but you didn't score it before this, and you're definitely not scoring it after this. So basically, if you choose a unit that has a bodyguard and a leader, you actually have to kill the bodyguard and the leader in order to get that marked for death point. So
I just finished reading your bullet point there. I like the pessimism. It's something I can get behind.
Yeah, you're not scoring this.
So this sounds like a coward's take to me. What do you mean I'm not going to score this? You don't think I can kill the whole unit and the character?
Well, usually when I draw this, it's usually turn 1. So no, it's very
That's
difficult. I mean, yeah, you're totally right, Danny. If you pull this on like turn 5 and I've got like 2 things left, 100% you're able to score this. But I don't know, the chances of that are not great. So I don't know.
It's like 1 in 16.
Yeah, I haven't had a great score percentage on this card at all.
Danny, how dare you bring math into this?
Yeah, how dare you?
Yeah, sorry, my bad. I know we weren't supposed to do that.
Cards now.
That's a 7% chance of drawing it round 1.
The other thing that they've clarified, it was kind of known, but also not written. Terraform, which is one of the primary mission changes. Only one player can terraform a given objective. It was kind of ambiguous last time it was written. Basically, it was an assumed that one person could do it, but didn't say it. So sometimes you were able to terraform the same objective twice. Sure, I don't know. But now only one person can do that. Really, guys, these are I think the more bigger changes that we're going to be seeing. But I think linchpin's a big deal, and I think the secondary or the secret mission changes are actually a little bigger than you thought.
I think it just helps overloading the fucking on the last turn of points. And removing some of the feels bad from the game, because there's nothing that screams this is a fun game to me like winning the entire game, spending an hour and a half of my life just making sweet tactical moves, only in the last 5 minutes for my opponent to pick 3 units up, put them back down, and be like, oh, I won.
Yeah, no one liked that whole scoring a billion points.
No, people who did the whole scoring ability liked it a whole bunch of that.
Playing possum, I guess, is what we would call that, right?
As an Editions old Eldar player, I have to say that nothing enraged my opponents more than me just jumping on all the objectives on the last turn.
You making that guy think he was going to win until the last moment of the game.
I have a very solid memory of playing against Danny's Eldar and him being like, and these guys are going to jump back. And I'm fuck, of course they are. I think was my response a couple of times. Because it's just when it's not interactive, you get to well, this is my time. And we talked about this, I think, the other week, Danny, as well, how you shouldn't really have to apologize for your army mechanics. but I think sometimes you do. When you can set up.
Yeah.
So your entire army is just like a theatrical, like a college theatrical group who just jump out, show jazz hands, and then jump back to the wings again. Yeah. Anyway, I'm complaining about 6th edition.
That's
Eldar now.
precisely correct.
No, I love that we can complain
Yeah.
about 6th edition Eldar with a new balanced update.
Yeah. Danny, were you ever a coward? Did you do the secret mission and tournament play? Or did you try and win the natural way?
I haven't done secret missions yet, but I'm planning on doing it when I can next. I would like to do that very much. Yes.
Have you been secret missioned?
No. No
No.
one has been brave enough to secret mission me.
No.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Fair. Sorry, Dickie. Please, on you go.
Don't be sorry. Core rule changes. So this is just specific to probably one of the big, I guess, feels bads in the game, which is the blood surge or the move after being shot kind of mechanic that we had. So there's 3 stipulations that are added to this rule. Probably the first one and the biggest one, to be honest, is you can only do this blood surge. I call it blood surge because, well, that's how I know it, but a blood surge move per phase. So no more multiple blood surges going into combat. That's not a thing. If your opponent stays 7.1 inches away from you, they're not able to get into combat. So that's a big deal. I think the other stipulation, and this was true for most blood surges, but you can't blood surge if you're battle shocked. Big deal, being able to fall out of a transport, being battle shocked, and then getting shot, and then like jumping into combat. That's not a fun.
So when you say blood surge, that just means when you're shot and someone dies, your unit can move forward, right?
That's right. Yeah. So it's the.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of different surge moves, right, Dickie? I mean, there's not just like I mean, but like it's Tyranids too, right? Like
So endless swarm Tyranids had it. We had the
Bile surge.
Bile surge, the Accursed Cultist,
cum surge.
The wolf, space wolves with the cavalry had a surge.
Or the first surge.
Yeah, the first surge. I guess we could call it that. Yeah. And the other important one, this is probably pretty niche, but you can't blood surge if you were already engaged in combat.
Yeah, no surcharge.
No.
Oh, fuck you. Oh,
important to know that Tyranids actually got around this rule pretty well because Endless Swarm said actually you could blood surge when you're engaged in combat, so you can have a big line of gargoyles still moving and engaging a whole bunch of things even while they're engaged, which is super aggravating. So not a thing anymore. And retroactively, all the blood surge, fur surges, whatever surges will be replaced to this rule from now on. So yeah.
In chat here, this is tangentially related. The Great said, Subductor Squad or Imperial Navy Breachers, who do you think is a better complement for Imperial Knights?
Danny? You're a Navy guy.
I was going to say Navy Breachers.
Yeah. Probably aren't they cheaper?
Yeah,
cheaper.
And
yeah.
I think that's so when you're looking at allies for knights, that's what you're looking for is
cheap,
less expensive.
Yeah.
Or 65-point Beasts of Nurgle.
Yes.
If you go the Chaos version, yeah.
Oh, of course.
Or
But yeah, why would you go Imperial?
We've had some changes to factions, guys. So I thought I'd run down some of the bigger factions that we're seeing. Now, Space Marines haven't been very good lately. So GW, in their infinite wisdom, wants their poster child to be good. So they did an initial change, and they actually threatened us with a new change. And they said it's going to be coming at the end of this year. So possibly December. So we look the good or the price reduction. We have Terminators coming down in points. Reavers, you're still not going to take Reavers, to be totally honest. Suppressors coming down. Mr. Reboot Girly Man goes from 350 to 285. That's a heck of a points decrease.
It does mean you probably take Ultramarines though, which is that worth a 65-point drop?
To be shunned by your friends, I don't know. It's that's a tough one.
Yeah.
Heavy intercessors were a big one for me. I thought heavy intercessors are a great durable unit. 95 points.
Danny and I, huge fans of heavy intercessors.
Yeah.
True.
Like every time I fought Danny's heavy intercessors, they've been so annoying, but they're only like moderately tougher than regular ones, but they're just tough enough to be super annoying.
Just tough enough, and they're 95 points now, so that's pretty good.
Love this.
The unloved child, the ATV, goes from he's been getting points drops, I think, every point stage. He's only 60 points nowadays. It's pretty durable for 60 points, to be honest. He's probably pretty close to being used.
I don't hit
It
him.
also makes it one of the cheapest Space Marine units.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I say, like, I don't hit it in a bike squad.
Nope.
Yeah,
and of course, if you were going to do the addition to the bike squad, it would be the 60 points as well. Well, it's not all happy-go-lucky for Space Marines. We've had some increases. Eradicators, those Melta boys, are going up 5 points for 100 for 3. The Apothecary Biologus goes up from 55 to 70.
That's quite the jump.
That's quite the jump. I would imagine it's because of all the shenanigans that John Lennon's been doing with them lately. With all the
That's 1.13.
I'm sorry, hold on a
ATVs.
minute.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, like
Well, not
I
one
understand
specific
people want
player,
to
the
attribute this
list.
to like one person, but
Yeah,
like
it's all his fault.
everybody's
Blame
been
John Lennon.
freaking taking this guy. So
Yeah, he's pretty good.
Yeah, because John Lennon did it, and
John
everyone's
Lennon
like,
did it first. John
oh my
Lennon,
fucking god, dude!
him and his high socks. We got jump intercessors. I will note something interesting here. So this is the first time we've noticed that GW's actually pricing them in a bit different ways. They're actually pricing different unit sizes in different ways. Well, this is very interesting.
Finally,
So
Yeah.
jump intercessors are going from their 80 points to 90, but they're actually their 10 unit squad of 160 remains the same. So pretty interesting. What do you got there, John? Some JP.
oh, this? I just have 10 jump pack intercessors. Why?
JPI, baby. Yeah, nice.
I'm still saying, like, I'm even like my Blood Angels list. I had to kind of redo a little bit, obviously, because of the points. I'm still taking 3 units of 5 of these guys. Like, even though they're 90 points, like, you can say it's sort of bad, but like the kind of utility they do. And then when we last played, and you had them with your Dark Angels, like all the great stuff you can do with it. 90 points, I think, is still a pretty good cost for them.
Yeah, man. Yeah. If you add a character to them, like a captain with a jump pack, like that unit becomes like instantly killy, right? So, yeah, man.
Oh, I don't want them to kill. I want to take them off the board and drop them on an objective round 5.
Sounds great. So alternatively, jump pack Vanguard vets do go up. So they go just 5-point increase for their 5-man, but a 10-point increase for their 10-man. So yeah.
Danny, what's your take on vets?
that's weird. I don't know why they do that. That seems like, I mean, they are strictly better than jump intercessors in some ways, but
yeah,
I don't know.
Do you think it's directly tied to the jump intercessors, or do you think it's sort of more proactively, like when people would stop going jump intercessors and move on to Vanguard vets?
Like, do you want to spend 3 more points a model to get a better close combat attack and a 4+ invul save?
Yeah.
Like, that's reasonable. Yeah, that's fair.
Before we move on here, Dickie, FPS Monster in chat says, my ideal Tuesday night, put the kids to bed, pack my pipe with a custom blend of tobacco sprinkled with a touch of Chinese amphetamine.
Oh, go.
I'm listening to Grim After Dark while painting my 145th Imperial
Fist. Well,
I'm assuming
pretty happy.
He's been watching for about 3 years now. So that one Imperial Fist, he's done, buddy. Put it down.
Golden.
Time to move on to the next member of the task. No.
Yes.
Space Marine changes seem pretty fair. I don't think they're going to cause them to rock the world, but they certainly can fix a couple of the abusable things.
No,
the Eradicator change is fine. Like, I think the jump intercessors is good change. The reductions are interesting, but like I don't think they. Yeah, suppressors is cool. I like that. And Girly, Rabute going down 65 points is kind of neat.
Hey, Val's in the chat.
Buddy, you're gonna Vive. We knew you were here. We could have just kind of popped you in.
Yeah, man. Put you in the
Well, we
show.
did technically, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they've already kind of copped to the fact that they're going to be doing some other changes in December to maybe let their buddies do well. I don't know. I think this is a good start. But it is very clear to me that they are nerfing things that they're seeing more often. Like you're seeing the 3-man eradicators, you're seeing the apothecary, you're seeing the JPIs. I'm not sure you're seeing the Vanguard vets, but yeah, hi ho.
I had a couple of them in a couple of like mock lists, but never enough to actually make it through to like assembly draft. Yeah, they seem really cool. And like Danny, when you sell it like that, like 3 points more for an invuln save and a better weapon.
Yeah.
But it kind of goes against again what I essentially want to use jump back intercessors for, which is highly mobile action monkeys.
Yeah, it's great.
So yeah, but yeah, excited for the Space Marine changes. What's the next big faction?
The Sisters.
Oh yeah, I got a sound effect for this one.
Oh man, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, man.
So again, with the points increases, they're also saying that they are looking at making some more substantial changes to them as
to jump in here, by the way, Val's in chat saying that flip your racist avatar, you're talking to a houseplant. I do want to point out to Val, not everyone has the same home setup he does.
Yeah.
So in my home, he's talking to a YouTube chat. So it does make sense. In that, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not doing it on the fly, Val. Sorry, it's not happening. Okay, Sisters. Well, some good news for Sisters. They did get some reductions. Those being Battle Sisters. So battle 10-man 10 lady Battle Sisters squad goes from 115 to 105. I don't know if that was the right sound effect for sure.
I'm sorry. Did you say that was 10 points more than a 5-man heavy intercessor squad?
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Yeah. In conjunction with their own book, though, we have to figure that out. Anyway, Zephyrim go down down in 5 points, and then it's just all red. The Cascader, who has been plaguing the tables, goes up 10 points. Dialogus,
thank God, 10 more points. We're never going to have to see those again.
Luckily, all of the Battle Sister squads went down by 10 points.
That's right. Dialogus, who you definitely saw a few of, got 30 points, goes up to 40. Dominions go up to 125. They needed that point increase. The Immolator goes up 10 points. Vol goes up 10 points. Paragon Suits go up 10 points. Seraphim go up just 5 points. The Triumph goes from 190 to 250. Beautiful points.
Well, okay, here's a question. Because I've not played against the Triumph much at all. The Sisters list I faced have not been heavy on that. Heavy on those little assholes with the giant chainsaws, but not on the Triumph. What does the Triumph do to make it go up almost 33% in point cost?
Oh man, it affects so much of the game. It can convert like 1s of miracle dice into 6s, I believe. Yep. And it can
I think it's just any miracle dice you can convert.
It's unbelievable. And I think there's no limit to the miracle dice that you can use around it. It is unbelievable. It's a fantastic tool. Oh boy.
That's the wrong kind of flip.
That's the wrong flip.
I'm trying to impress Val. Just talk to
the house. I got it. I love him to death, and I'll impress him to death. Okay, there.
And now the TV's facing the wrong way, and he's going to point that out.
He's going. My forced perspective's all off. So anyway, Sisters get hit hard, and they also told us that they're probably going to hit them again. I would imagine it's going to be something to do with the Miracle Dice generation, which feels bad, as Danny's an Eldar player. He gets not as many Magic 6 dice as they get, and and it's
very disappointing.
Do you think they're going to match up Eldari Fate dice to Sisters Miracle dice?
No.
I don't know what they're going to do. To be, I think they're.
How
they're
do you
probably...
fix Miracle dice? Well, because you have to keep it a satisfying mechanic for the player. a rewarding mechanic, but also not something that kind of gives you that, oh, yeah, you just have a bunch of 6s now.
Dude, I don't know.
I mean, I don't think that they will. I think that they will keep, I think they'll keep them separate. But I don't know how long. I mean, I don't know. It seems like they should be able to differentiate them enough. Like Eldar, you can use whenever you want, but you only get a certain amount for the whole game, whereas Sisters get them every single turn.
Yeah. I don't know. I think the way to fix Sisters is probably more of their mechanical fixes of how they work rather than the points, because these points feel probably pretty bad for a Sisters play. I think most Sisters list, I would imagine, had to have gone up 200 points, 250 points, based on this. They were already becoming a small elite army. So yeah, this is going to hit them hard. So it's going to be interesting in the next couple months to see how this does affect their runs at events. So yeah,
for sure.
What's next?
Custodies, not a lot here, but bikes got cheaper. Don't worry, you're still not going to see them against their rules, not so much their points. Mr. Trajan Valoris goes down 10 points. We have Dreadnoughts going down. So maybe that Dreadnought army I was always thinking about running, maybe it's a thing I can do now. Contemptors
played. It's not great.
No, probably not. Contemptors go down to 160. The Achilles, Contemptor Achilles, I believe that's the one with the spear.
It's got the bad foot.
The bad foot and the spear for 155, and then the Gladius with the it's got your joke is awesome. Goes down as well. So some changes there. I don't think this is going to affect. I don't think this is going to affect anything with regards to Custodies. Actually, Custodies aren't that awful right now. They're just, I think people are just moved off of them just to play something else. But I think Custodies are actually quite strong.
Yeah, we're downvoting people here saying you could see bikes being popular if they were 100 points.
Maybe it was more I remember them being the bane of my existence in playing, and that was more because of their speed and rules. But now I think their rules just really suck. I have to take a look at them again, but I can't. 140 points for them. I think you only get one, or it's not a lot. You only get they're super expensive.
My memories of Custody jet bikes is having two full units of them charge 2 different full units of Death Shroud beside a Foul Blight Spawn, and me quickly removing both from the table. And then the guy being really sad that half his army got wiped out very quickly. So I think bikes are fine.
Downvoting people, you're totally right. At some point, there's going to be a break point where they become too cheap for the wounds. We're 100% right, but I don't know what that point is going to be.
Not at 140.
Not at 140 is my guess. Yeah.
No.
Danny, what's the
that's for 3 bikes? That's not for 2?
Is it for 3?
I don't know. I'm asking you a question, Dickie.
I thought it was here. You guys chat and I'll go into the GW.
This is Deep Dickin, not Danny Dives. Try to make yours naughty as well. It was hard.
Okay, so let's move on then. Let's move on.
Okay.
Oh, were you proven wrong?
Just moving on. Astra Militarum, probably in my opinion, the big scary army out there. They've had some significant points changes, but also a new addition to their roster that we just saw at Coventry G&T. Nassim Fuchain won with a list, and it had, I think, 30 of the brand new Aquilon Tempester dudes. Basically, the 3-inch, the 3-inch rapid ingress or deep strike guys. The shenanigans that you can pull with those guys are unbelievable, and I believe they're only 90 points for 10 of them.
Thankfully, they're paywalled behind a $200 box.
Yes, that's right. So
for now,
a 3D printer.
Or a 3D printer. So some interesting changes. So tank commanders actually gain the squadron keyword. So this opens up a few things. That means actually they can give themselves tank orders, and I believe it also unlocks their ability to have crit 6s on hits for auto wounds, I believe. Don't quote me on that. We had some Scout Sentinels go down 55 points from 60. I'm not sure why. They were very sporadically used. Ogren, the red-haired stepchild of Bulgren, go down to 60 points for 3. With, I believe they have some kind of heavy bolter thingy and grenades. I don't know. Maybe we'll see them at 60 points. Field ordnance are 100. I cannot remember what the hell a field ordnance is. But
it's the big base, the 100mm base, like heavy weapon platforms.
Yeah. Okay. Heavy weapon squads go down to 50 points, and I've heard some actually really disturbing things about that. How many mortars you can fit into a guard army. So please don't do this.
At least 3.
I mean, I would say it's 9, and then you
9
can take
plus units. Yeah.
So
don't do that. Don't be the indirect guy.
Checking hard into
or do that.
Or do. Well, unfortunately, because commanders got the squadron keyword, they also got a point increase. They actually went up 20 points for the ability to crit 6s, as well as being able to give themselves orders. Was it worth it? I don't know. Bulgrins go up 20 points from the 90 to 1.
Thank God. Do you know how sick? I'm sorry to jump in, but I saw this
as
soon as you put up. It's like, you know how sick I am of facing Astra Militarum list, which is just oops, all Bulgren line, and then the crunchy shit behind it. Good, make them 200 points. I'm out of here.
They are a very aggravating unit to deal with. Like the -1 damage, the feel no pain,
My entire army for months was all damage 2. That was my gimmick, that I had damage 2. And I'm paired improbably frequently up against Bulgren. Whereas it's just damage 1 now, and I just saved it. Because I don't need miracle dice if I just roll well, and you suck.
Yeah. So they've definitely gone up in price. I think you're still going to see them, to be totally honest. I think they're still very good. I don't think you're going to see 18, but you're going to see a few. So so that's guard. I do think guard's going to be very good. So they just won Coventry GT, and then
Danny, I had a very visceral reaction to that point change. What was your kind of take on the guard changes?
They're medium. I mean, look, I think the Bulgren changes are significant. Paying 40 more points for a full unit is a big deal. So I think you'll see a lot less of those. But Ogrens are still pretty good for what they are, honestly. So I kind of think you'll see a lot more of those.
Yeah.
Look, you can take for 360 points. You get 3 squads with 18 wounds and heavy bolters that they can shoot in combat. I'm pretty sure.
I think they're blast, but I think they have some weird rule.
They have some cool rules. Anyway, I think they're at least interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yeah. So that's the big winner in my opinion. Next, I kind of melded Grey Knights because Grey Knights had good, no bad, and Black Templars only bad. Sorry guys. Grey Knights. So their Terminators went down, and again they're doing the whole changing it up on the fly. So the 5-man Terminator unit goes down to 200 points, and 420 for the big. Just for 420. Got it. Purgation Squad goes from 120 for 5, and then 240 from their 260. So that's some decreases. I do like Purgation Squads actually. So good to see. Paladin squads, the big unit size does not change, but the small unit size of paladins go 215 from 225. So pretty interesting changes there. I think Grey Knights are a fantastic army. Pretty technical. I don't know. I think they have some play here.
I played them for a little bit. I couldn't get over the glass hammer aspect of it. Whenever I played them, they were very much an army of This is your go turn. And then if you got your go turn wrong, oh, you're screwed. So like I had a hard time doing that, but these points changes are nice, and I really actually like that they're differentiating between squad size numbers. So like cheaper for small, like more expensive for large. I think it really is pretty good.
But I agree. Black Templars. It's clear that GW does not want you to be playing a whole bunch of Primaris Crusaders in big chunky units from these point changes. Sorry, France ruined it for everybody. Let's blame them.
So it was 6 months ago. It's fine.
Yeah. The big unit of Crusaders of the Primaris version go from 280 points to 320 points. And then the small squad only caught a 10-point increase, so not too bad. But all your support pieces went up as well. So Helbrecht goes up 10 points, Grimaldus goes up 10 points. And then if you thought you were going to get cheeky and bring those Firstborn Crusader squad, well, the 20-man is 290 points. So not that much better.
Gotcha.
I don't think Helbrecht's that bad for 130.
He's still very good. He's still very good.
Both those characters are great for their points still.
Yeah.
Like,
I think you just have less shit, right? At the end of the day.
Yeah.
So yeah. And that's that. Any call out guys other than Helbrecht being the man?
No, like just stop spamming shit and ruining it for everyone else.
Yeah.
Word.
Dark Angels, I got the wrong picture here, but oh well, I'm going with it. Dark
Angel talking to a Grey Knight.
God.
A watcher in the dark.
I don't respect Dark Angels, I guess. But the good. Here's the good. Danny, I know you're a Dark Angel lover. The Lion goes from 300 points to 285.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, man. Pretty's a lot of fun to play, actually. Sometimes
look, I think he's good. Like,
Yeah.
I don't even think he's just fun. I think he's good.
Fair enough. The Ravenwing, I'm a big Ravenwing lover. The Ravenwing command squad goes down to 120 from 310. And Sammy, good old Sammy, goes from 130 to 115. But then that old vengeance that's been doing the same thing forever. Gives
Hold on. Wait.
Yeah.
Why are all these things old?
They're all ancient. They're all ancient. Yeah. So the vengeance is like 1 billion years old, isn't it? It's the one that gives you cover or -1 to hit or some rule.
The vengeance is the plasma cannon armed land speeder.
Okay, cool. Well, that went down 20 points.
Yeah, for 120, it's not bad. Like, it's pretty quick. It's like movement 14, I think, and it's got a decent gun.
Didn't every other land speeder variant die? And it was
the old land speeders.
Yeah.
There's storm speeders, but look,
storms.
Yeah, storm
the
speeders.
Dark Angels ones are long, John. They're long. They're long boys. They're not quite the standard kit.
I don't need your pencil dig land speeders jumping through here.
It's not all good news, unfortunately, for Dark Angels, because we saw Deathwing Knights take an increase from 235 to 250.
Things.
So, oh well. Sorry. And Azrael goes from 105 to 115. I still think you're taking Azrael.
Absolutely.
Man, here's the fun point. Some of those points changes just balance each other out again.
I guess, yeah.
The Lion went down 15 points. Azrael went up 10. Still 5 points in the clear.
Yeah, I don't know if Deathwing, like, I don't know if the Deathwing Knights are going to be as prevalent, but I can definitely see those sword companion guys who are an amazing model, by the way.
Inner Circle companions.
Yeah.
Inner Circle roommates?
Yeah, they're roommates. Those guys, those guys are fantastic, and I do think you're gonna see that unit. So yeah, what do you think? What do you think, Danny? Since you're a Dark Angel.
Yeah, overall, my list went up about 100 points for Space Marines. Yeah, no, it's probably less than that. I bet it's like 60 or 70 points. But like, ultimately, that's fine. I just have to change around kind of what my chaff was, and then I could play the same list, basically. So yeah, all these are fine. Deathwing Knights going up is totally reasonable, and so is Azrael. Azrael is an amazing support piece.
Yeah.
And the line going down is just
Sex.
amazing.
Actually
But,
arousing.
What do we got next? Oh, Space Wolves. Space Wolves.
Yeah, I got something for this year.
Yeah.
Oh, your soundboard's working
It's
again.
working again. Nice.
lovely.
You got test it. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna be the one Space Wolves supporter on this show. I think Space Wolves get a lot of shit
Oh.
from both of you. All right. I think it's time. Why don't we be nice to the Wolvie boys?
Have
No.
you met Space Wolf players?
Oh, they're just the worst
I
people.
met
Oh.
Joe's. Okay. Anyway, Space Wolves. We got some good news. It's not all bad news for them. Their Long Fangs go down. That's their Devastator style unit, I believe. Their Long Fangs go down quite considerably for the small man, and quite considerably for the big man. So 120 and 145 respectively.
That is
Sky-
a pretty big dump.
That is picked up, yeah. Sky Claws, we get the interesting small unit size treatment, stay the same price, but 165 points for the middle. I believe is the middle squad the 10-man, and the other squad is there a 20-man Skyclaw unit for real? Is that a real thing?
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, some pretty.
I think it's 15.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's an
Random
odd-
bullshit that doesn't make sense.
That's
sounds
an
like
odd
pretty cool.
size, but
Yeah.
we're gonna go with it. And we have a decrease to Wolfguard as well. And the Hounds of Morkai, I believe those are the specialty units that don't like Psychers.
Terrible.
I cannot
Yeah.
remember. They've been going down consistently, and I think they're going to keep going down because I don't see a use for them. So the bad. Okay, guys, Thunder, Wolf Cav were a problem. They were clearly a problem. So GW basically hit them with some points increase. I still think this list is not the worst thing in the world. You
I
could
think
still run
120 is no, that's for 3, right?
Yeah, 120 for 3,
That isn't
240 for the 6-man. So yeah, I think they're still good. Mr. Fell handed to you. It goes up to 190. He was very good. Logan, not if he's on his sleigh, he's cheaper. If he's on foot, he's more expensive. He goes, is that 116? That is an odd number. I'm pretty sure I didn't do that right. I think he only goes up to 110.
PJ Orn and Logan Unfu.
Yeah, so 110. So not a bad change, but you know what? Like I said, I'm gonna try to support the Space Wolves. I'm sure they're a fine army.
Bunch of bullshit played by bad people, and they know it.
Agreed. You know what you did.
Yeah,
Basically.
and if you're complaining about Thunderwolf Calf, every Space Marine faction has a little special Mary Sue unit that's model.
Yeah, you know what? And I gotta be honest, like Space Wolves at that list archetype had like a 51% win ratio in events. So like it was doing very well. So there's a reason it went up. It was very good. So
Every time a faction's win rate goes above 50.1%,
yeah.
Mike Brent goes
Yeah,
just
fair
wakes up in the dead of night. His wife like, "What is it, Mike?" And he's like, "Space Wolves again."
enough. Yeah.
They're unbalanced again.
Again, yeah.
Then he goes down to his basement where there's just a bunch of scales because he doesn't understand
Yeah.
that it's not a literal balance.
It's going to be really interesting because one of the final games, was it the final game? It was either the semifinals or the final game of Coventry. Nassim played Josh Roberts. Josh Roberts works for GW. He's actually on the balance team. And Nassim was able to do a lot of the 3-inch rapid ingress shenanigans to him. So I'm wondering.
Is that instantly FAQ?
Well, it was really. It was,
Actually,
it was-
during the game, John.
during the game, it was hilarious because all I saw was him typing frantically on his phone after the game. If you were watching this stream, he's just typing frantically on his phone. I'm wondering if he was just making notes on how to nerf the crap out of those.
It was like in Mean Girls when she gets the burn book and she writes about herself. Like, this army is a bunch of fugly crap.
Yes. Yeah. I think there was other reasons. Yeah, I think there's other reasons he lost. The table that was on stream was unbelievably great for the guard player. It was like a shooting gallery.
Was it GW's terrain setup?
No, it was the UKTC terrain set, and some of those tables are fantastic, and some of those tables are abysmal. So
Unless they want to sponsor us, in which case they're all great.
Unless they want to sponsor Zach, like get some guys to take a look. I'm sure they'll fix it in 2 seconds. We got some more though. We got some more. Oh, I saved the worst for last. Chaos Space Marines. So it doesn't look so bad for Chaos Space Marines, really.
Oh, you mean how everything went down in points?
Except the things that everyone was using. Yeah. So let's go through it. So
you were using those accursed cultists that you built.
Right.
God, I hope that everything else didn't go down in points to balance out those 2 things that went up.
Okay, let's go through it because it's good. I think Abaddon going to 280 is fantastic. Abaddon's a great unit, and he can go through walls. Suck it, Primarchs.
What?
Disco.
Did they take away that rule?
What? Did they take the rule away?
That he can go through walls.
No, he can. 100%. He can 100% go through walls. It's
you guys stoking Imperial Primarchs.
Can they?
Yeah,
I couldn't. No.
Dickie has been telling his opponents for the last.
I've been telling for the last 3 months that you can. Oh, sorry, Lion can't go through that wall.
That's one of the reasons why the Lion is really cool.
Yeah. Anywho,
one of a couple.
Disco Lords get a drastic decrease. Unfortunately, you're still not going to see them on the table because they're not very good. The Terminator Sorcerer goes down. He's actually not awful.
Danny, remember when we tried to run 6 Disco Lords in a team tournament because they were really good?
They were fantastic back in the day.
And then we found out that we could only run max 4, so we had to figure out a list with the shitty models that we brought.
Yeah. We did it.
Yeah,
we did it. We did it.
The CSM win rate was high, Duncan. So don't be fooled. Vashtor. Not only did he get a points decrease, he actually got some rules fixes. He's actually able to work in his detachment, so he can benefit from a lot. I think you're actually going to see this detachment every once in a while. So that'll be fun. The Predator Annihilator. So this is the Soul Las Cannon variant, goes down 10 points. He's only 130 points, very cheap. Terminators go down to 180, and Havocs go down 10 points. Havocs are a really great like heavy weapon platform unit for actually pretty cheap.
And you know anyone who picks up a bunch of Havocs really cheaply recently?
You?
No, you. Didn't you pick up a bunch of Havocs?
I did get some Havocs. Oh, no, that sale fell through. Big bummer.
Oh. Never do this.
I know. I was very disappointed. I was really hoping I was going to have like 15 more Havocs.
And all because you lowballed the guy.
Yep.
Makes sense. We see the interesting, so Legionnaires stay at the 90 points for 5, but actually then went down 10 for the 10 of them. A Blitz go, since they've kind of changed their rules and we weren't seeing them, they go down to 160 for 2, just 2. They're still pretty good. We saw Liam win the London Grand Tournament with them. I'm not sure they're fantastic still. Possessed go down 5 points. Warp Talons go down just for the 5-man unit though, so the 120. And then we see the unit that I just finished painting and building, the Dark Commune, from 65 points to 80 points. You son of a gun! And then they kept the Accursed Cultist just went up a slight amount for the bigger size at 195 points for the 16, I believe. So yeah,
beautiful.
Yeah. I mean,
I like it.
I think CSM's probably still fine. I think Sisters, and we didn't even talk about Thousand Suns. I totally forgot to add them. Thousand Suns got hit with a large increase on mostly just characters, and they did a weird thing where 10 rubrics were cheaper for some reason. So I think T-Suns are still fine. I think they're still good.
And I think that's where we're seeing them kind of point things to encourage list building towards the narrative idea of what that army should be. Where the idea is you have like large blocks of these souls rubrics going around rather than like the little, or maybe it's about spamming other attacks. Who knows? Regardless, I think it was a really good balanced data set overall.
Yeah, I think I think that the meta as a whole, I think actually is pretty good right now. I think we're seeing a lot of different factions do really well, which is really great for the game. We have some big codexes coming out in 2025, and we have Eldar coming out, which always throws the meta for a loop. So that's going to be an interesting one. We also have Knights coming out, right? We have Imperial Knights. So it'll be interesting to see how GW can make that codex relevant. So
I'm really excited to see how they do, because I think it's going to give me a little hint about how Chaos Knights are going to be.
It is odd that they're not releasing them. They've always kind of released those two together.
I think what's interesting is Chaos Knight builds right now is all little boys all over the place, right? And there's a tiny bit of synergy with the big boys, but essentially you have like one big boy and a ton of little guys. And I think that's how that army is supposed to be played and how it was designed. But I still think it needs some help. And so I'm really interested to see how that goes. Yeah. Danny, final thoughts on the...
Mostly, I think they did a good job on the data slate. I'm pretty happy with it. But also, my armies didn't get touched super bad. I think Dark Angels got touched a bit, but that's fine. They deserve it.
Yep.
Yeah. So I'm excited to see what the new meta is, and I welcome our new meta overlords, Blood Angels.
And, they look awesome.
Very good.
Yeah, Francois ran them at a local event the first week, and he had he said, "I'm done with World Eaters. These guys are my new faves." So I'm excited to see. Yeah, cough. You okay, bud? You gonna be okay down there?
No, sorry, it's got a little itch right here that sorry, Scott, I don't know where to put all of these.
And Duncan called me the meta chasing bastard.
How are you gonna paint up your Blood Angels, John?
With red paint, Danny.
You're gonna paint them like Blood Angels?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna paint them like Blood Angels. It's been I can't even remember the time I've painted an army to its default scheme. So I think I'm just gonna do standard. I kind of like the goofy yellow helmet with the red armor. Also, I haven't really painted red, so it's going to be a new challenge for me. So we'll see how it goes. Dickie, real quickly, we're going to skip next week. We will catch up with totally accurate Warhammer lore because that's going to take a little bit too long for us. But let's skip down to slide 29, where I have a very special Dear Danny that is still going to test your patience with improv games, but take a little bit less time than a complete expiration. Righto Castro, not happy with the 40-point increase for 20-man Primaris Crusaders. Tough shit. It's just it deserved it. I don't know what to say.
I'm going to be honest with you. I wasn't happy playing that army, so
it was rough.
The unhappiness is balanced out.
Yeah. Here. Okay.
All right.
We're making.
Let's go. Let's go with quick, Dear Danny.
Oh, okay. Give me a sec. I had to redo. It was a thing. It was a thing. Don't boo me. There we go. Ooh.
So I came across this. If you go down the slide here, this meme this week, which I really liked.
Yeah.
This is the classic meme where a small action causes the large endpoint here. So we have the starting dominant here was George W. Bush lying about weapons of mass destructions in Iraq. And then it escalates all the way to my wife crying over Magnus the Red. And I was like, what a brilliant suggestion to do. So if we go down to the next one here, guys, you're going to help. We're all going to help connect these two dots. So the idea is I've given you the starting point. I've given you the end point. So let's connect the dots here for these two. So Dickie, next slide. So the start of the chain is Tom Cruise's version of The Mummy, and that leads to 6th edition 40K. Danny, how does Tom Cruise's version of The Mummy lead to 6th edition 40K?
You know, John, it's quite a tale.
Oh no, the mummy stole his voice.
Oh, am I gone?
Oh no, I can hear him. I can hear him. He's fine.
Oh yeah, okay, we're good now. Yeah.
Okay. It's quite a tale, John.
Yeah.
Good.
Firstly, we have to look at why The Mummy was created. Redone, if you will. And this is to reinforce IP that was held by Universal Studios over these monster movies, right?
You know, that is a fact.
Okay.
So much in the same way, GW took its first steps into 6th edition 40K with the ideal of revitalizing their intellectual property and keep making a game that people loved. And specifically, after watching The Mummy, they thought to themselves, you know what people really like is a hero. So let's make every model in an army that has different equipment a hero.
Okay.
And that's how we got to wound allocation shenanigans, John. That's how we got there. That was the first step towards 6th edition 40K. Do you remember that?
I missed wound allocation shenanigans.
Oh, I didn't. Do you remember those knob?
Annie,
bikers?
do you know? Yeah, I had 30 of those knob bikers.
Son of a
Yeah, I
gun.
bet you did.
It was if you are newer players and you don't know what we're talking about here, in 6th edition 40K, they had things called wound allocation where you could allocate your wounds. However, what you do is you take a big, tough, strong unit of knob bikers with 3 wounds each. You took 10 of them, and then you individually allocated wounds until everyone had 1 wound. And then you went back to the start and give everyone their second wound, which means to remove a single model from that unit, you had to do 21 wounds. Oh, man, a simpler time of 40K.
Grey Knight
That's
Paladins,
simple.
which were horrible to play against. Same thing. Like every model had different equipment, so you could allocate wounds.
That's it was a
Yeah.
dark time.
This is why games used to take 8 hours, by the way. All right, that's a great connection for us.
Yep.
We got another one down here, Danny. Our next one is going to be George Bush announces mission accomplished on the bridge or the deck of a U.S. Navy warship, and that gets us to Primaris Marines.
John, I think this is a pretty simple connection to make, right?
Oh.
Like you have Games Workshop out here. They're like, all right, what is our main goal? Well, our goal is to make Space Marine lieutenants. The only way we're going to be able to do that is to
actually, I think because you're speaking as Games Workshop, their goal is to make lieutenants.
Sorry,
Oh,
thank
that
you.
makes sense.
However you say that word, I'm not going to try and mispronounce it. So they said, all right, so we need to have in order to create these lieutenants. Is that how you say that? Did I get that right?
Yeah, lieutenant.
Kind of right. Yeah.
All right. So in order to do that, we have to create troops for them to lead. We can't just make a bunch of these models as a one-off without any models to lead. Obviously, they have to be in charge.
There's one guy who really misunderstood the assignment, who's really disappointed that he designed 50 lieutenant models. And I was like, wait, they have to lead people?
Are you kidding me? Why can't they just lead the tactical squads? That seems
what
like
I'm
what
going to
they
do with
should
all
be.
of these fucking models. Series, it's fine.
That's funny.
I love it.
Oh, beautiful. Yeah, mission accomplished.
Just ripping through this. Yeah.
Yeah, and then our last one.
Oh, God.
The 2010 movie, The Social Network, led to The Emperor's Children release in 2025.
Never watched it.
The Social Network was the biopic they did of the creation of Facebook, where Henry Cavill, Lex Luthor, played Mark Zuckerberg, and Andrew Garfield, Spider-Man, played his friend who got screwed out of money.
Did you mean Jesse Eisenberg?
Yeah, Jesse Eisenberg. Thank you. And Andrew Garfield are in it. And it's about the creation of Facebook, from weird Harvard stalking device to international stalking device.
Yep. Okay. So, I mean, obviously you can see the correlation just in the speech that John just gave about why it was created. It was created as a stalking tool, and the Emperor's Children, famous stalkers.
Are they? Interesting.
Yeah. No, you know what they're always doing, Dickie? They're stalking a good time.
Oh boy.
Oh, buddy. Gandalf smoke in chat here. Trying to bring the smoke. Danny, I think we're gonna have fun with this.
Yep.
He says WTF, which I think it means once to French.
Oh,
That's not true.
Dude, calm down. I just met you.
They started making Warhammer 40k Hero Hammer after trying to copy Warcraft 3 when heroes lead the army, and that started around 4th, 5th edition. Gandalf Smoke, did you play 2nd edition 40k at all? Because if we want to talk about the origins of heroes, Danny, and you can correct me if I'm wrong on this, but that started with 2nd edition 40k.
The Hero Hammer?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, 2nd edition was definitely a Hero Hammer edition. 3rd edition and 3.5, which were the editions that were out when Warcraft 3 was released. Actually, I think it was 3.0, and then 3.5 came out later, where they kind of revitalized the combat phase. And then they went into 4th edition, which was also not a Hero Hammer heavy edition. I would say neither was 5th. That was Transport Edition.
They did that because they were trying to move away from the Hero Hammer of 2nd edition to create kind of a larger game to sell more models. Because 2nd edition, small, I think if you look at an old 1,500 to 2,000 point army from 2nd edition, it was like 3 squads and like 3 heroes or something like that. But they wanted to kind of expand it out, so it was more in the macro scale. 3rd edition, and then 4th and 5th, we're trying to kind of refine that concept.
Right.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
So yeah. But yeah, please give us your questions about 40k lore, because Danny and I are both very old, and have played 40k for far too long. Dickie, what was your first edition?
I played fantasy up pretty late, so I think my first edition was 8th. Wait, it was 8th edition. Fantasy.
Terrible! Get out of here!
Yeah.
You don't.
The last edition of Warhammer Fantasy was the only one that you played.
No. I played fantasy up until 8th edition.
Oh, that makes way more sense.
That was the jump there. Crib Shadow, yes, Tom Cruise was in The Mummy, but he was in his remake of The Mummy, which Danny pointed out quite correctly was made because they were about to lose the rights to it. And they did try to make a Universal Cinematic Universe with Frankenstein's monster and The Mummy and all those other kind of characters. But yeah, perfect. Well, we'll do some more of these another time. I've kept everyone for far too long of their time here in the fantastic new Grim After Dark set. We have next week, we will have 2 amazing things that we're going to announce. So we do them. One, Dickie, thank you so much. That was an amazing workover of the balance data slate. I know it's helped me kind of peruse through 30 odd pages on 27 different PDFs. Great job bringing it together. Really kind of let us know the changes that are going on there. Fuck Bullgrin. I think I want to leave on that one. Next week, we are going to be going through our completely accurate Warhammer lore, where we are going to be focusing on a very important event in the Warhammer 40,000 universe. And all reference pictures have been provided by our Discord. You can join in and add your own reference pictures on the Grimcord by throwing $1 our way, or not. I don't care. Just message any person. He'll take care of it. And then we're also going to be starting our series of reviewing the shows on Warhammer Plus. Yes, you do get shows on it. It's not just an app you complain about not having full access to. And we're going to start with the one I said we're going to watch for this week, but I never did. But it was it's a 30-minute short they have, or a 30-minute show they have about Imperial Knights, which looks amazing. I think Lance or something. I said the name. If you go to the Warhammer Plus homepage right now,
watch it tonight.
It's there.
I'm gonna do my homework tonight.
We're gonna watch it. We're gonna go over it. Feel free to follow along with us. We're gonna be behind the desk next Tuesday. Same Grim time, same Grim channel. For Grim After Dark, I've been John.
I've been Danny.
I've been Dickie.
And we will see you next Tuesday. Not you, though.
It's time to step into the grim darkness with nerds gather talking Warhammer madness. Grim After Dark, the podcast with the hosts John, Danny, and Val, but they're not the most. Claiming to be experts, but it's all a facade. Talking about battles and dice rolls, they're all odd. Trying to sound cool with their Warhammer talk, but I'm here to expose. It's all just squawk. Nerds, everywhere I see talking Warhammer this, like it's a decree. But let me tell you, homie, it is all just a game. In the real world, homie, We are not the same, so put down the dice, step out of the dark. It's time to live life, nerd, make your own mark. Grim after dark, the nerd's playground, talking Warhammer this, acting all profound. But when I listen, it's all just a bunch of noise. I love roasting nerds and their stupid ass toys. Stupid ass toys, I wanna grab them, put my hands around the neck, squeeze, squeeze, Warhammer squeeze, until they can't breathe or breathe again. Tell a friend, I'm out here roasting nerds again.